Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Kelly Ripa has been a familiar, comforting presence in American homes for decades. Every morning she shows up with a smile, warmth, and a sense of normalcy that so many viewers have come to depend on. But today, something felt different. There was no big announcement, no dramatic headline, just a quiet moment, one that longtime viewers immediately noticed. Kelly's voice was softer. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes, and for a brief moment, it felt as though the weight of something deeply personal was resting on her shoulders. For millions who have grown up watching her, who start their mornings with her presence, this moment was deeply moving. Because when someone you've welcomed into your home for years shows sadness, it doesn't feel like television anymore. It feels personal. And today, viewers across the country found themselves asking the same question: is Kelly okay? In the world of morning television, few faces are as familiar and comforting as Kelly Ripa. For decades, her bright smile, quick humor, and warm presence have been a constant part of millions of viewers' daily routines. That is why today's very sad news has left fans across the country deeply emotional and concerned. On today's episode, something felt noticeably different. It wasn't a dramatic announcement or a shocking headline. Instead, it was a quiet, emotional shift, one that longtime viewers immediately picked up on. Kelly Ripa, usually so full of energy and light, appeared more reflective, more subdued, and visibly emotional. And for fans who feel they know her after years of watching, that change was heartbreaking. A morning that felt different. From the moment the show began, viewers sensed that this was not a typical broadcast. Kelly's tone was softer, her expressions lingered a little longer. There were moments where her smile seemed forced, and moments where silence spoke louder than words. Fans on social media quickly began asking questions. Is Kelly okay? Why does she seem so emotional today? I've never seen her like this before. What made the moment even more powerful was that nothing was exaggerated. There was no over-the-top drama. Instead, it was the kind of sadness that feels real, quiet, human, and deeply relatable. An emotional moment that touched millions. As the show continued, Kelly shared a personal reflection that clearly came from the heart. While she remained professional, her emotions were evident. Her voice slightly trembled, her eyes told a story of someone carrying a heavy emotional weight. For many viewers, this was the most heartbreaking part. Kelly Ripa has always been someone who brings joy to others, often putting her own feelings aside to make people laugh and feel good. Seeing her in a moment of vulnerability reminded fans that even the strongest, most cheerful public figures are human too. This emotional honesty is exactly why audiences feel so connected to her. She didn't need to explain everything in detail. Her expressions alone were enough. Fans react with concern and love. Almost immediately, social media was filled with messages of support. Fans shared clips, screenshots, and heartfelt comments expressing how deeply the moment affected them. Many longtime viewers wrote that they felt like they were watching a close friend go through something painful. Others shared their appreciation for Kelly's authenticity, saying it made them feel less alone in their own struggles. Comments included sentiments like, "We're sending you love, Kelly. Thank you for being real with us. You've been there for us for years now. We're here for you." This outpouring of support shows just how strong the bond is between Kelly and her audience. The pressure behind the smile. Being a morning show host is not as easy as it looks. Day after day, Kelly Ripa steps in front of the camera, expected to be upbeat, positive, and engaging. No matter what might be happening behind the scenes, over the years she has spoken openly about balancing work, family, and personal challenges. Today's emotional moment seemed to reflect the weight of that balance. It was a reminder that even someone who appears to have it all can still feel overwhelmed, reflective, or emotionally drained. For many fans, this made her even more relatable. Why this moment resonated so deeply. The reason today's sad update struck such a chord is simple. Kelly Ripa has been part of people's lives for a long time. Viewers have watched her grow, laugh, celebrate milestones, and navigate changes. When someone like that shows sadness, it feels personal. This wasn't about shocking news or sensational drama. It was about empathy. It was about recognizing emotion in someone we admire and care about. And in a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, that kind of shared emotional moment is powerful. A quiet strength on display. Despite the sadness, what stood out most was Kelly's strength. She showed up, she did her job, she stayed composed even while clearly emotional. That quiet resilience did not go unnoticed. Many fans praised her professionalism and courage, noting how difficult it must be to be vulnerable in front of millions of people. Instead of hiding her emotions completely, she allowed viewers to see a real human side of her. That honesty is rare and deeply appreciated. What this means for viewers. For some, today's episode was a reminder to check in on the people around them. For others, it was comforting to see a public figure express emotions they themselves might be struggling with. Kelly Ripa's sad moment became more than just a television segment. It became a shared experience, one that encouraged compassion, understanding, and emotional openness. Looking ahead with hope. While today's news felt heavy, fans remain hopeful. Kelly has faced challenges before and has always come through them with grace and strength. Viewers trust that whatever she is navigating, she has the support of her family, colleagues, and millions of fans around the world. Sometimes sadness is not a sign of weakness, but of depth, honesty, and humanity. Today's emotional moment reminded everyone why Kelly Ripa is so deeply beloved, not just because she has the rare gift of making people laugh, but because she has always been real. She shows up as herself, joyful, thoughtful, and yes, sometimes quietly sad. For years, viewers have welcomed her into their homes. Morning after morning, she has been there through coffee cups, newspaper headlines, family routines, and life's everyday moments. For many, especially longtime viewers, her presence feels familiar, almost like a trusted friend who sits with you at the kitchen table and helps you ease into the day. That is why today felt different. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, it was subtle, but deeply powerful. In her expressions, in her pauses, in the softness of her voice, people saw something real. And for an audience that has lived through decades of joy, loss, resilience, and change, that authenticity mattered. Because those who have lived long enough understand something important. Life is not always bright. Strength does not mean smiling all the time, and honesty is often quiet. Kelly Ripa did not need to explain everything. She did not need to share details or make headlines. Her presence alone spoke volumes, and in that moment, millions of viewers felt seen. Many of them had faced their own challenges, losses, worries, changes they never expected. Seeing someone they admire allow space for emotion reminded them that it's okay to feel, that it's okay to slow down, that it's okay to carry both gratitude and sadness at the same time. That is the kind of connection that cannot be scripted. Over the years, Kelly has celebrated milestones with her audience. She has laughed with them, cried with them, and grown alongside them. Today was simply another chapter in that shared journey, a reminder that even those who bring light to others sometimes need compassion returned to them. And that compassion came pouring in. Fans didn't just react, they reached out with words of kindness, with messages of encouragement, with quiet understanding. It was a moment of unity where people from different places and different walks of life came together with one simple message: you are not alone. That kind of response does not come from celebrity, it comes from trust. Kelly Ripa has earned that trust by being consistent, genuine, and human. She has never pretended to be perfect, and that is why her audience continues to stand by her, not just in joyful moments, but in reflective ones too. Today, fans may feel heartbroken, but they are also connected. Connected by empathy, connected by years of shared mornings, connected by the understanding that behind every familiar smile is a real person with real emotions. And perhaps that is the true takeaway from today. Not sadness, but sincerity. Not worry, but warmth. Not an ending, but a reminder. A reminder that authenticity still matters, that kindness still resonates, and that showing up as yourself, especially on difficult days, is one of the most powerful things a person can do. As viewers look ahead, they do so with gratitude. Gratitude for the laughter, gratitude for the honesty, gratitude for someone who has given so much of herself simply by being real. And today, that was more than enough.